right now. Gonna go out to these poles. There's a couple white poles out there in the water, and I don't know what they represent. Maybe it's a oyster colony or something like that that just marked for boats. But every time we go out there this time of year, we seem to catch or have a good chance of catching a lot of drum, red drum, black drum, occasional speckled trout thrown in here and there. And we're going to go out here, anchor up, try to do a little popping cork action, and then I might switch to a jig after that if the popping cork doesn't seem to be working. Change some colors maybe. Water's probably about 72, maybe a little higher than that, maybe 74 degrees. This is early September. Oregon Inlet from now till about, probably till about the late part of November, you can come in here in Oregon Inlet on the sound side, and they got a little kayak launch site right up there at the Pirates Cove, or not Pirates Cove, but Oregon Inlet Fishing Center. And you can launch a kayak right there. It's real easy, nobody messing with your stuff. And we're gonna go out here and try and do some redfish fishing, see what we can catch. Pretty calm day. A lot calmer than it was a couple days ago when we were in Manio. Probably about half-foot seas, nothing that big. In Manio a couple days ago, we were in like 14-mile-an-hour winds, and we were with gusts of over 20. We were pushing about 2.5 foot seas out there. Kind of hairy, scary crossing back across the Manio Bay area from leaving the salt marshes in the afternoon, you know. A little bit hairy, scary kind of feeling. But out here today, you're looking at 8-mile-an-hour winds, maybe 10 gusts, half-foot seas, 74, 75 degrees. Pretty nice day. Doing a lot of construction work on the bridge now. Of course, they're putting up a new bridge. I don't know when they're gonna finish it, probably within a year. And then maybe they'll start working on the Mid-County Bridge in Currituck that goes across the Duck. I think it's the same people who's got the same contract or another contract with the county. So as you come out here, there's a little teeny island out here. And you can fish around that island. It's about 1.5 feet, 2 foot deep. Right now I'm sitting in about 4 foot of water. There's fish all around here. I can fish anywhere I want probably and catch something. But specifically I want to go to these poles and try them right now while we got a good, you know, early morning shot at it. And then I'll start traveling around and looking at other areas. The good thing about this side of Oregon Inlet in the Sound, when you leave out of there at Oregon Inlet Fishing Center, from the dock all the way out here, there's a sandbar that's over that way. It's about maybe 1/2 foot deep at most. And what happens is the big charter boats, they come out and they go on the other side of it. All right, when these big charter boats come through, they wash their wake up onto the sandbar. Well, the sandbar actually protects you. So you can be out here and you ain't got to worry about dealing with a lot of boat traffic, even though there is a lot of boat traffic coming past you. You just get little waves after it breaks over the sandbar. You see these 2 white poles out here, they're markers for something. Not exactly sure which. You can see one of the 40 some foot, 50 foot head boats, maybe 60 foot. He's coming through and you'll see how the wave crashes on top of that sandbar. It won't get all of it, but it'll get most of it. And what we did last week when we came out here, I actually had a fish strip off about 100 foot of line in about 3 seconds. I don't know what it was. I'm pretty sure it was a cobia. It rolled at the end and showed a white belly. Could have been a big drum. Drum don't run like that though. I mean, this thing took off, and I mean, it really went fast. So I don't know what it was, but I did catch a drum last week, but it was a black drum. My brother caught a red drum. And we sat right on the other side of this sandbar, because what happens is I think the fish have gotten accustomed to these boats going in and out. They're washing the wake over this shallow water, and all the little small bait fish are up on that little shallow half-foot deep area. What happens is the waves come through here and they wash the bait fish into the deeper water, which is 2 or 3 or 4 foot deep. And then the big fish are sitting off there. They've learned to sit there and wait for the little fish to come off, so they can just dart up and you know, take a good little nibble on them. So it's a good idea to be on this side of the sandbar and fishing this ridge, and it goes all the way down, all the way back, kind of does like a dog leg right back towards the dock. And we're probably half a mile, say about half a mile from Oregon Inlet Fishing Center. But you can see how the waves, they broke over there, and now they're just teeny tiny little things. So we're gonna go out here and we're gonna fish in the same spot I fished a couple weeks ago and see if we can pick up something nice. Got to get my anchor set up. And the water is a little bit deeper. Seems a little bit deeper than it was when we came out here a week ago. About probably a half a foot, maybe a foot deeper. And Sandbar ends a little past that second white pole. So if you go much more that way, you're going to get hit with some wake. I should be doing a quick release knot on this anchor, but I just do a bunch of half hitches. Let me get back around here. The wind's kind of coming from the west, sort of. Seems to be. So the nose of the kayak's going to be facing towards that pole, I hope. The wind's kind of moving around a little bit, so I'm going to be shifting a little bit here and there. And however deep of water you're fishing, this is a general rule of thumb. I know most people ain't going to go by this. But generally, however deep of water you're fishing, you want about 7 times that amount of anchor line out so you get a steep angle. Biggest part about a propeller is don't get the line hung up in the propeller. I could lift a drive. That would probably help some. Cut my sonar off so I can save a little bit of battery on that. Doing a yellow popping cork, white jig head with a little bit of a red on it. Gulp actually makes these jig heads. They're really sharp. And I bought these Gulp, a Gulp 10-pack package from Walmart. And let me tell you, they are significantly softer than what I get online on Amazon. I don't know why. I don't know if they changed something on the bodies. It's the same color, same mullet 4-inch chartreuse, same everything, looks the same, it's listed the same on the package. It's just a different looking package. It's not the big bucket, it's a little 10-pack bucket, but they're very soft for some reason, extremely soft. The tails will come off really quick. What this is supposed to mimic is like bait fish scurrying across the surface of the water, and the clacking that happens with the cork is supposed to mimic a shrimp trying to get away. The brass balls hit the bottom of it. That's one clack for a shrimp, and then when the metal wire falls back down, the plastic beads at the top mimic the shrimp again. Where I had that strike at last week was right to the right of that pole, about 10 feet. I mean, he literally took it and just went straight that way about 100 feet in 3 seconds. And don't be afraid to cast back in the same spot twice when you're using a pop cork. Because the reason is the action of the cork may actually cause some redfish to move into the area to check out what it is. And then you might already have fished it in by that point. But the redfish are still out there. And they're looking for whatever it is that was making that sound. So go right back to the same spot again. And sometimes you'll pick up a redfish that was looking for it before, that wasn't in the area until you actually called him in, so to speak. Kind of like a deer call. Fishing about probably 2 feet, foot, maybe 10 inches, 2 feet below the cork with a jig, about 6 inches to a foot off the bottom. That's about where you want it. Brother and a friend of mine, they're coming out in their kayaks right now. The bite. A lot of times the little teeny fish will pick it up and they'll move it around. Sometimes they'll take the tail off of it. But it also could be a drum just sitting there bumping it, messing with it. See how the cork is sitting there right now? It's not drifting any. It's kind of leaning. It could be a crab. When your cork stops moving in the current and it starts leaning like that, a lot of times a crab will pick on it, pick it up, carry it to the bottom, and they'll sit there at the bottom and dig in with their claws, try and eat it. See? No tail. Some got a hold of it. Those of y'all wondering what's the best way to take a grub off after you put these hard body grubs on a jig head without sticking yourself, take your shirt, wrap around it, give you better grip on it, pull it right off. Don't ever throw these in the water. Every bit of trash that I bring out comes back with me. Whether it be jigs, bodies of jigs, cigarettes, whatever I eat on the water, whatever I drink out of on the water, it all comes back with me. Every bit of it. Trimmings on line, all of it. I can't help the tail that came off of that. Obviously fish has got down in his mouth or crab's got it. If I could help it, I would. Keep our waterways nice and clear. Beautiful thing to be out here fishing, kayak, enjoying weather, enjoying the nature. We don't need to destroy it. I'm not no activist or nothing like that. I just believe in taking care of what I go out and experience. See how those waves get broken up on that sandbar? He's probably going to fish a little bit closer to the sandbar. That's where he caught his red drum last week. I don't know if I use a park and pull out here, Harley.
Yeah.
Might want to use your anchor. A little too deep for a park and pole.
Only like that deep. Maybe like 2 foot.
Try it out then. Yes, it is. Good thing about this time of year too is that this is the time of year when the pinfish, the porgies, and all that start moving out. And only the big fish stay back. Drum, black drum, red drum, speckled trout. Now you still got a few pinfish and a few porgies here and there that'll still bait off your line if you're fishing like a bottom rig with shrimp. But it's nowhere near as bad as it is middle of summer. This is the same area I caught 6 black drum in last year. There's some grass. Try bottom rig for a little bit. Take a little bit of a smoke break. Probably won't be in the water long before something takes the bait. It's kind of a war of attrition when it comes to fishing with shrimp and bottom rigs out here. It's how many shrimp bottom rigs was front loaded on it, can you put out there before you finally get something decent? I usually bring 2 bags. Nah. I can move over some. I'll move over some. No, you're fine. Don't move because I'm getting ready to move my line. Stay there. From?
Spoons are in the cotton ball.
Oh. Yeah, just bend it out a little bit further than the hook. Not much. looks like there's a little trough right in between two sandbars actually. There's one right to your left, and then there's a deep area, and then there's the other sandbar. And I bet you there's some big fish hanging out in that in between the two of them. Kind of jig it slightly. Let it sink, hit the bottom, you know, jig it along the bottom.
Hell, even the jig though.
You can also put a little tail on it with a rod. Better luck where? Where?
That way, the lighthouse.
Huh.
He said that's where
You know about that guy up there?
Yeah, he said over towards the lighthouse. That looks like the height.
He's probably talking about that place I said we would go one day when it's nice and sunny. There ain't a whole lot of chop, because you got to cross across all this boat traffic. But then once you get back over there, there's like a sand, big old sand flat area. There's a channel that runs right in the middle of it.
Is that the one you were showing me that one time, like a long time ago?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. There's one. There's one. Is he black or is he red? Biting like a red. That's a red. That's right, baby. Take all you want.
Big one?
$19.
Big enough?
Yeah.
You get one, shrimp?
Yeah.
What'd you get them with?
Bottom rig shrimp.
Say one thing, this is the first time I've ever had a line on this pole that the shit wasn't a rat's nest every time. However we put the line on last time was finally the right way.
Pretty. Third. Limit here is 18 inches, 27. Dolphin. See that? Dolphin right over there. In about 3 feet of water. Maybe don't decide to come make my redfish a snack. Huh? Probably. Anything he can get his hands on. Me and him gonna have a problem though if he comes to try to get my drum. I mean, I give it to him if he comes by the boat and acts like Flipper, but he ain't gonna act like that, I don't think, if he comes beside the boat. About 50 yards that way. I mean, shit, I could have jumped in the water and swam to him quicker than he could have got away.
I doubt that. They swim like 50 miles an hour.
Well, you know what I mean. I mean, he's in shallow water. He can't really go but so fast. I just don't want him on the backside of this bottom rig. bottom. It's good though. Line is flat. False alarm. Wedding rings off so I don't lose them.
Where'd Nancy go?
She went that way. She was gonna go into salt marshes, get out of the wind so she could lay out. Always helps to have something like this. What'd you see?
Jumping in the water right here. I see the white belly.
You're setting about 5 feet from where I had that fish hit my popping cork last week and run with it. Yeah, something playing with mine, a crab or something. Pulling the line slowly. Not a fish. See the tip popping and moving about that far where he's taking his claws and he's snapping the shrimp off the hook. Snapping on the line and the hook. See if I can move it away from him. I don't need to give him a free meal. You got the bottom. Of course. But you can see how that weight gets broken up by all these big boats. Just because that sandbar's right there. It's real good. It's a great place to fish. A little bit I'll move to that deeper area and fish the popping cork and pedal up and down it. See if I can get another drum on or something bigger. Cobia. Not likely, but you know, it's always worth a try.
See that one, John?
Huh? I didn't see it. The reason I put the drum on the stringer because you have your size limit. You only keep one per day in North Carolina. So you have your size limit of 1827. Well, he's only 19 inches, right at 19 inches. So it's a good idea to put him on a stringer so he can sit there and live underneath the boat. And then if I catch a 21 or 22 inch or something like that, catch a 22 inch or 23 or 4 inch. Something on here. Right, that's grass. That drag a little too loose. And I can throw that little one back and keep the bigger one. Sitting in about 1.5 to 2 foot of water, and I'm casting into water that's about 2.5 to 3 foot deep. I don't know how deep that is over there yet, because I haven't never been over there with sonar. We'll find that out here in a little bit. And the polarized glasses, you can see that's vegetation under the water. Sand. You know, when it gets like 2-3 foot deep and it's nice and sunny out, you can see all of this stuff with polarized glasses. And that looks like a deeper area over there, but it could just be grass. But I highly doubt there's grass on the other side of that sandbar because of all the disturbance of the water. It'd be hard for grass to grow there. I'm thinking it's a drop off, might be 3, 4, could be as much as 5, 6, 10 foot deep over there. I don't know. If it's real deep, I won't use a popping cork. I'll change out the popping cork to a jig, and then I'll jig along it. But if it's only a few feet deep, then I'll use a popping cork. Hit my line or something. There was a really big crab snapping my line. Weird. Deeper channel behind us. It's about 5-6 foot deep. Oh yeah, that's a good one. needs to be much bigger. Pretty though. They don't get a lot of gold. They start losing their gold color when the seasons start changing. They only have that brilliant gold color seams around here anyway. When they're middle of summer, real hot, they get kind of a silverish white look to them. I have picked up some gold ones recently, but he needs to go back and get bigger.
Yeah, there was some black guy at 7-Eleven.
Yeah.
He was arguing with me that like that storm, it was still going to be like catastrophic. I was like, dude, the path it's taken is better for us if it's inland. And then he was talking about how if it hits South Carolina, it's really bad for us. And he was basically arguing that it's just as bad as it could be. And I'm like, no, worse would be for that motherfucker to turn and come right in on us.
Yeah.
And then he kept arguing that somehow that I was like, there is no way getting the right side far winds of a Category 1 hurricane that's going over Charlotte that was bad for us is that motherfucker hitting us in a Category 3 on the other bank. See, I had no hits on the spoon, and that first cast there with the shrimp, with the gulp, I got a hit. On the bottom.
You saw that little red I just caught, didn't you?
Huh?
You saw that little red I just caught, didn't you? Got another one right there.
What's Harley fishing with?
Fishing with his phone right now.
Oh, is he using shrimp?
Nah, he's using a jig.
I got work emails and I was reading them and then I started Snapchat.
What are you using? Gulp?
Huh?
What bait?
Gulp. Isn't that what you gave me, Gulp?
Wow. Bring both of y'all in. Double header.
Drum?
A double header.
Drum or croaker?
Drum. Two of them. Small. Well, that's not good. That ain't coming out easily. Huh? Thought it was one big drum, it was two smaller drums. The one had the hook all the way down, I just cut him free. Hope he survived.
Oh, two drums and one cast?
Yeah,
Two small ones?
yeah.
Huh?
They're over there in that deeper channel. That's where I've been casting to. Got a rig, another hook. Wash my damn hands off. It's all slimy now. That smaller drum are moving into the sound. Finding a big one's going to be harder and harder to find as the season goes on. I typically find bigger ones in the summer. There's going to be a lot of little drum out here that ain't big enough to keep. sometimes they'll just take the bait all the way down to their throat. That hook was buried past his throat. There's no way I was going to get that out. Instead of trying to sit there and screw with it and get it out and risk exposure of him to the air without getting any oxygen from the water, it's just better off just to cut him loose and let him go. I mean, he probably won't live.
I can't hear nothing you're saying.
But he may live. I'm talking to the camera. He may live. At least he has a chance. And that's one of the issues with fishing with bottom rigs and stuff like that out here for drum. If you let them take the bait too long, they'll plant it all the way in their stomach in a matter of 10 seconds. So you got to be kind of quick setting the hook. He was just a little quicker at taking it than I was at setting it. There's a possibility too that he could have hit it when I was reeling the other one in, because often, a lot of times, they'll follow each other around. You'd be pulling in a drum and be another one chasing right behind you. It's like, I guess the best way to explain it's like dogs. You know, when dogs get excited, they have a tendency to ramp each other up. Drum do the same thing. You know, one hits your hook and you're fighting him. All the ones around him get excited about it. And if they see something that they can eat, they're going to pick it up. I mean, this bottom rig won't even out 30 seconds before I hooked him. Sight for the fish. Beautiful day out there. You have any bites, Harley?
I think bottom rig might be the way to go.
I mean, I'm catching them.
Huh?
I said I'm catching them, but I only caught one keeper.
Yeah. Did you know I'm back?
Hold on, you're over my line, Sean. Keep going. Keep going. Yeah, they're all too small. Picked anyway. A lot of little fish out there. A lot more than I thought there'd be. Big drum, but everything I've caught so far other than that one has been less than about 15 inches. running this video with no cuts. So when the battery dies, you get what you get. Got one red drum, so now I need some black drum. Need 10 of them to be exact. Make a nice family meal.
I think I'm snagged on something.
Out here? Really? The hell would you be snagged on out here? Guys, right to your left, right behind you. Sure you hung?
No, I don't know where. I'm
Oh, grass. A lot of grass out that way. I got another battery. I'll pop that in when I get over where my wife's at. A little bit. I think I'm gonna do some popper work action here soon. That one drum under the stringer. I'm gonna be greedy out here.
of course. Get all unanchored and everything, there you go.
Probably just hung on some grass or something. Tough grass underneath the surface.
Look back a little bit. Dang, good thing I had this,
Not a leash. I'm gonna just cruise right along that break. Fish the popper cork. Give him a little bit more lead. Tide actually might be pulling out a little bit. It's probably dropped 2 or 3 inches since it's been out here. I didn't hit nothing coming out. 5 foot deep right now.